I have been spoiled the past couple of years with some of the leaps that have been made within the gaming industry. Open world gaming has been completely revamped with some of the past games I've reviewed, like Zelda and Red Dead 2.
Well, I tried out Far Cry 5 and it's a pretty good time.
That was my Arthur Morgan impression, but anyway, Far Cry 5 was on the PS4 store and it was on sale for $20, so how could I pass that one up? Far Cry 5 is the perfect game to play at your friend's house. You play it for a couple of hours, you mess around, and then you're good for the day. I played the hell out of Far Cry 4, and I did everything that the game had to offer, so naturally I was excited for Far Cry 5, but before I speak about any negatives, it does deliver. It provides exactly what I want and what I was expecting, fun over-the-top action without too much thinking. It is missing Pagan Min though, and instead you get this shirtless Matthew McConaughey. Most of your time will be spent taking down enemy strongholds. Every now and then you'll be put into some wild goose chases through boats, cars, helicopters, and even planes. Far Cry 5 is a wild world and there's plenty of things to do and people to kill. What makes the Far Cry games fun for me is its freedom within combat. When scoping out enemy strongholds, you'll notice plenty of ways to engage in combat. You can go stealth, guns blazing, or a little bit in between. There may be some alarms that you might want to disarm, or maybe you can just go in with a boom and allow for reinforcements to come. That's just more people to kill, right? There's not a correct way to approach combat, it's however you want to. Modern gaming thrives off of freedom and less linearity. Far Cry's open world is your canvas, and your gun, your rockets, your grenades, well, they're the paintbrush. I would love to say that this level of freedom gave me a sense of strategy, but the game was so easy that I really found it more of just a mindless killing game. I went through a couple missions where I sneaked through the whole thing, and that was easy too, so then I just went in guns blazing because I felt like that was the only way to experience any form of challenge. Speaking of guns blazing, you'll be given a giant arsenal of weapons very fast. It's truly overwhelming. To unlock more weapons, you need to get more money, which you can earn from beating missions, collecting items, and hunting animals. I would go on a couple of hunts to stock up on cash to the point where I had enough money to get all of the weapons and vehicles that I wanted. A specific department where I can say that Far Cry 5 has improved from its predecessors is graphics and performance. All Far Cry games welcome explosions, but home consoles can't always support that kind of firepower. I played this on the PS4, and even during the craziest fire-filled exploding missions, and trust me, there were a lot of those, I never saw any issues with the frame rate. If you want to talk about gameplay, it's basically the same, for better or for worse. Far Cry is a super arcadey style shooter with poor collision detection, but that's a part of the charm. The unrealistic nature of this world is fun, and that's what I want to get out of a video game, to have fun. The issue is, the charm might wear off quickly. The antagonist is Joseph Seed, this religious nut. He leads this giant religious cult, and I'm not sure what the experts have to say about his performance, but it's Far Cry. The antagonist and his lieutenants are basically larger than life and seem impossible to kill, but that's okay because you're also impossible to kill. You'll be put in captivity on multiple occasions, only to easily break out. You'll go on crazy drug trips that will confuse you to the point where you think that the game is glitching, and then other times you'll see that the game is actually glitching. Ubisoft took some risks within the story, which is nice to see, but I can't say I love the story at all. It did a good enough job to cement the gameplay, but it's one of those scenarios where you only see the main antagonist a couple of times before the final showdown. In Far Cry 5, you'll gain some companions to accompany you on this quest, both human and animal. The mountain lion is my favorite because I like cats. I also like the doggy because he reminds me of the Pooch from Metal Gear, helping Big Boss sniff out enemies. All of the companions have their specific use cases, but the game is already pretty easy as is. Throwing a bear, mountain lion, a doggy, or a dude with a flamethrower into the mix just makes it that much easier. Skill trees makes its return, and there are plenty of challenges that unlock you points, to the point where you don't even really have to look anything up. It's a pretty organic way to make your character stronger, so Ubisoft did a good job on this one. Outside of the main story, there are plenty of side quests and other things to do, like races and hunting animals. You'll definitely be occupied outside of the missions. If you're sick of the main story, pop into Far Cry 5 Arcade where you can build your own maps and play them across the World Wide Web. The community has mixed feelings about this mode because although it's super customizable, it seems that Ubisoft favors their levels over the community-made levels. The point of this mode was to use your own levels for matchmaking, so it kind of defeats the purpose if the developers are just going to want to use their own levels. I get it, you don't want to play a ridiculous amount of broken fan-made levels, but with a proper rating system, that could be avoided altogether. I clearly have mixed feelings about Far Cry 5. This whole review has been an emotional roller coaster for me. I've become a sour old man who needs to critique stuff, but at the end of the day, I had fun playing this game, so that should mean something. I recommend this game for anyone who's never played the Far Cry series, but if you're a little bit more picky and you've played all the other Far Cry games, just know what you're getting yourself into. This does not redefine anything, but it is a very fun time. As always, thanks for watching, boys and girls. What's your favorite Far Cry game, and how did you feel about the most recent installment? Do you think I'm a crazy old man who doesn't know what good games are, or am I onto something? Let me know.